Imagine you're 25 years old and you're becoming one of the most exciting athletes in your sport. You've flown to Austin, Texas for another race. You're staying at your friend's apartment. And on May 11th, 2022, you spend the afternoon with another professional cyclist, someone you've briefly dated before. You go swimming. You get dinner. He drops you back at your friend's apartment at around 8:30 that night. You walk inside and unlock the door at approximately 8:36 p.m. 1 minute later, a black Jeep appears outside, and somewhere nearby, a security camera begins recording audio. Eventually, it captures a woman screaming. Then, gunshots. Tonight, we're talking about the murder of rising cycling star Anna Moriah Wilson, and the woman who would change her appearance, leave the United States, hide in a Costa Rican surf town, and eventually be hunted down after 43 days on the run. Welcome to the podcast You Can't Unhear. Before this became a murder case, Moriah Wilson was becoming a name people in professional cycling couldn't ignore. Most people called her Mo. She grew up in Vermont and attended Dartmouth College, where she competed as an alpine skier. But eventually, cycling became her world. Specifically, gravel racing. It's essentially competitive cycling over unpaved roads, dirt and difficult terrain. And Mo was exceptionally good at it. By 2022, she was becoming one of the brightest young talents in the sport. She was traveling, winning races, building a reputation. And when she arrived in Austin in May, she was there ahead of another competition she was considered a favorite to win. But Austin was also where another part of Mo's life existed. Colin Strickland. Colin was another professional cyclist, and for years, he had been in an on-again, off-again relationship with a woman named Kaitlin Armstrong. Armstrong worked as a yoga instructor and real estate agent. She and Colin lived together, and even owned a business together. But during one of their separations, Colin became romantically involved with Mo. According to Colin, that romantic relationship was brief. Eventually, he reconciled with Kaitlin. But he and Mo remained friends, and apparently, Kaitlin knew. Colin would later testify that Kaitlin had access to his communications. He even changed the name associated with Mo's contact information in his phone, because he wanted to avoid conflict with Kaitlin. And according to testimony presented years later, Kaitlin wasn't simply uncomfortable with Mo. Two women testified that Kaitlin had talked about wanting to kill her. One remembered Armstrong saying, in essence, that if Mo continued dating Colin, she wanted her dead. At the time, it may have sounded like jealousy talking, anger, something someone says but would never actually do. Then came May 11th, 2022. Mo was staying with her friend Caitlin Cash in Austin. That afternoon, Colin picked Mo up on his motorcycle. They went swimming at a local pool. Afterward, they got food together. Investigators later obtained restaurant surveillance footage showing them together. At approximately 8:30 p.m, Colin brought Mo back to Cash's apartment. He didn't go inside. Mo walked toward the apartment alone. At 8:36 p.m, Cash's electronic door lock system registered that Mo had unlocked the door. Everything after that happened incredibly quickly. A nearby security camera captured a black SUV, a Jeep with a bike rack, moving near the apartment. And according to investigators, it appeared only about a minute after Mo returned. Then, the camera captured something else. Not video from inside the apartment, audio. Prosecutors would eventually play it for a jury. Mo screaming. Then 2 gunshots. Silence. And seconds later, another shot. Later that night, Kaitlin Cash returned home. She walked inside and found her friend on the bathroom floor. Mo had been shot 3 times. Cash immediately called 911 and attempted CPR, but Mo couldn't be saved. She was only 25 years old. Investigators recovered shell casings from inside the apartment. They also discovered Mo's expensive racing bicycle, but strangely, it wasn't inside. Someone had apparently taken it from the apartment and discarded it in bushes nearby. Police now had a murder, but they also had several extremely useful pieces of evidence. The black Jeep, the gun, and Colin Strickland. Naturally, police questioned Colin. He told them about his day with Mo, the swimming, the food, their previous romantic relationship, the fact that he had dropped her off. And investigators checked his story. Security cameras supported it, and his phone activity supported his whereabouts during the killing. Detectives later described him as cooperative and transparent, and Colin was cleared as a suspect. But something investigators discovered at Colin's home was far more interesting. A black Jeep with a bike rack. The vehicle belonged to Kaitlin Armstrong. And police also found something else connected to her. A handgun. Colin had purchased the firearm for Kaitlin. Investigators test-fired it and compared the results with evidence recovered beside Mo's body. The potential match was considered significant. Suddenly, Kaitlin wasn't simply the jealous girlfriend. She was a suspect. Eventually, investigators began reconstructing Kaitlin's digital life. And during her 2023 trial, prosecutors presented evidence they believed showed something much more calculated than a spontaneous confrontation. They alleged Kaitlin had been monitoring Mo through Strava, the fitness app athletes use to track and share workouts. Colin testified Kaitlin had access to his communications as well. Then, investigators recovered a recently deleted file from Kaitlin's phone. Inside was a Google Maps address. According to testimony, the address corresponded with the location where Mo was killed. But police had one major problem. They'd already had Kaitlin in custody, and they'd let her go. Shortly after the murder, authorities detained Kaitlin on an unrelated warrant. But there was a problem with the warrant information. Police couldn't legally continue holding her, so she was released. During questioning, detectives confronted her with surveillance footage involving her Jeep. According to the arrest affidavit, Kaitlin became guarded, eventually asked to end the interview, and walked out. Then she started dismantling her life. On May 13th, she sold her Jeep. She reportedly received around $12,000 for a vehicle valued much higher. Then she disappeared. Kaitlin traveled from Austin to Houston, then to New York. On May 18th, authorities say she used another person's passport to board a flight from Newark to Costa Rica. By May 19th, authorities had issued a murder warrant. But Kaitlin was already outside the United States. And in Costa Rica, she began transforming herself. She cut and darkened her hair. She underwent cosmetic surgery on her nose. She used aliases. And eventually, she ended up around the beach community of Santa Teresa. A surf town filled with travelers, hostels, yoga, and tourists constantly arriving and disappearing. Pretty much the perfect place to become another anonymous face. And Kaitlin was a yoga instructor, so she blended in. For weeks, the US Marshals searched, and eventually, they tried something clever. They knew Kaitlin might be looking for yoga work, so investigators placed an advertisement online looking for a yoga instructor. And Kaitlin responded. After 43 days on the run, the hunt was over. She was arrested at a hostel in Costa Rica and returned to Texas. You would think one international escape attempt would be enough. Apparently not. Because on October 11th, 2023, just weeks before her murder trial, Kaitlin was taken from jail to a medical appointment, and she ran. She sprinted away from the officers escorting her, making it more than a block into the surrounding neighborhood before authorities caught her again. She wasn't free for long. But to prosecutors, it fit the pattern. When consequences were approaching, Kaitlin Armstrong ran. Her murder trial began in Austin in late 2023. The prosecution's theory was simple: jealousy. They argued Kaitlin had become consumed by Mo's connection to Colin. She monitored her. She knew where she was. Her Jeep appeared outside the apartment. The firearm connected to Kaitlin was linked to evidence from the murder scene. Witnesses testified that she'd previously talked about killing Mo. And after police questioned her, she sold her vehicle, left Texas, used someone else's passport, changed her appearance, and hid in another country. The defense emphasized something important. Nobody actually saw Kaitlin pull the trigger. There was no surveillance camera inside the apartment showing the murder. Their argument was that prosecutors had built a web of circumstantial evidence. But circumstantial evidence can still be overwhelming. On November 16th, 2023, after roughly 2 weeks of testimony, the jury deliberated for about 2 hours. Guilty. The following day, the punishment phase concluded. Mo's mother spoke about her daughter. Her friend Caitlin Cash, the woman who'd walked into that apartment and tried desperately to save her, also addressed the court. And then came the sentence. 90 years in prison. Kaitlin Armstrong would not be eligible for parole until she had served at least 30 years. But maybe the strangest part of this story is how quickly everything happened. At 8:30 that night, Mo was riding back to her friend's apartment after swimming and getting dinner. At 8:36, she unlocked the door. Within minutes, a promising 25-year-old athlete was dead, and the woman convicted of killing her would spend the next several weeks trying to erase herself. Different hair, different name, different country, even a different nose. But you can change what you look like without changing what you've left behind. Mo Wilson should have been remembered for what she was becoming, one of the brightest young talents in professional cycling. Instead, her name became attached to one of the strangest murder investigations the sport had ever seen. Today, her family continues her legacy through the MORIAH Wilson Foundation, and a Vermont trail has been created in her honor called Moriah's Ascent. A fitting name for someone whose life had been moving upwards so quickly before somebody decided she shouldn't be allowed to keep climbing. Mo's life and the subsequent case were explored in the Netflix documentary The Truth and Tragedy of Moriah Wilson. Have you guys seen it? What do you think? Anyway, thanks for joining me tonight. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe, and I'll see you on the next episode of the podcast You Can't Unhear.